My channel is called A Can of Worms, and I've been on this spiritual journey 5 years, and I want to be a research for you guys if you feel like you're awakening and you don't know where to start or what to do. You know, I was there in your place and come out of a very conservative religion, and I felt guilty for even, asking these questions because, it was very discouraged. You're just supposed to pay attention to the Bible and that's it. But before I joined that religion, I was very spiritual and I had read a lot of things. And so I had that, backing me up. Like I read Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Really, it's good. It's hard to do. Like it's hard for me anyway to be in the now moment all the time, but I'll try. Then what actually happened was I was going through Facebook, and believe it or not, Corey Good was advertised on Facebook before they, started ramping up the real censorship, which is why I want to help you with the resources, because it's really hard to find it in this day and age when they're censoring everything. I mean, anyway, I followed Corey Good. I just liked the way he sounded. He's soft spoken. He seemed to be a introvert like me, and I can kind of recognize our kind. And he was being interviewed by David Wilcock, and David, phenomenally smart person, asked good questions. There's other questions I wanted to know, so I followed them. Corey is a very sweet, sensitive guy, very intuitive also. His story is phenomenal. His story is unbelievable to me at first. Now I totally believe it. That he was in a secret space program, and it was called 20 and Back, where you're in it for 20 years and they age regress you and wipe your memory and put you back where you were, even in time. I know that sounds fantastical. But then I was like, wait a minute, secret space program? Secret space program? How could there be a program that we don't know about? But it's true, there's programs we don't know about. And he mentioned quite a few of them, and I found out about more. So this got me on a journey. I was like, what else is going on? And David Wilcock had a show, Wisdom Teaching, so I started watching that too. And a lot of information, if you can get it. It's not online anymore. Some people have saved it. If you search for it, I'm sure you can find the episodes. I recommend starting here. Not only because it's where I started, but because it's just comprehensive information. A lot has happened since then, so it's a good starting point, for you guys to go to. David Wilcock also has a lot of books with a lot of the same information. His latest is Awakening in the Dream, and there's other ones, as you can see. It's quite thick, but well worth the read. Interesting, very interesting read. Okay, I'm going to talk about that, and when I started, investigating all that kind of stuff, one thing led to the other, led to the other. I just didn't stop. This is 5 years of every spare time that I have when I'm not working or cleaning or doing or hanging with friends. I'm researching. It's crazy. But yeah. Okay, so what I realized is that when I was in that religion, I love the people there, so nice and everything. But I realized that when I was in that religion, I was in a box. And already we're in a box. Here being in 3D, we're in a box. So why put yourself in another box? Why give yourself more rules? The way things are now, You know, there's so many rules and there's more every year and they're trying to take away our rights now. I mean, it's just getting crazy. You need to free yourself. Freedom, 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 fight for it because they are trying to take it away. And I will tell you, in a later show, just who they are. I think you can guess. If you don't guess, I'll tell you. So researching. I'm just checking my notes. I thought at first that I needed someone to lead me by the hand and tell me what to think. I realized that I don't need that at all. Not at all. I can do the research myself, and it's fun. The other thing I realized that I was actually strong enough to do it. I had enough inside me that I could trust my intuition, and that started slowly with the supplements that I was taking. Rion talks about, supplements. He's turned me on to the Berkey. I think I mentioned that. And, turmeric is really good. And if you take turmeric with fenugreek, it triples or quadruples the anti-inflammatory effect of it. So it's really a good thing. I take Ethereum Gold. I take the silver colloidal. Every now and then I take activated charcoal. All this gets rid of toxins. They've been pouring toxins into us like you would not believe. It was better when I was younger. It's really bad now. I mean, I only got basic 3 vaccinations when I was a kid. My parents had less. They did have them now to pour vaccinations into kids, just shooting them up. It's like crazy. Now they want this stupid COVID shot thing into kids as babies, as young as 3. And it keeps getting younger and younger and younger. I think of where I came from in New Jersey, the cutoff was 12. I mean, I know adults that are getting sick from this thing. I don't think every batch is bad. I think some are okay, because how suspicious would it be if everybody that got the vaccine just dropped dead or got sick? But I know someone that got Bell's palsy, but their spouse did not have any bad reactions. So, and they were elderly in their 80s. So yeah, just don't. I intend to stay that way. So is my spouse. So is my youngest son. The other 2 probably bought into it more than we did. They're up in New Jersey. It's more of a left-leaning state on the South Carolina right now. So my older son had a very bad reaction to it. He was at a police station, thank God, getting a permit for a firearm, and he fainted, hit his forehead on the counter and fell backwards and banged the back of his head. And he was in bad shape for a while. He started convulsing. Thank God he's all right now, 100% all right. So yeah, I mean, and another sad thing is, a friend of mine's sister went to the hospital with symptoms and she was unvaccinated. And what they did was neglect her. They were afraid to be around her or whatever. That's giving them the benefit of the doubt. They didn't take good care of her. She died from a urinary tract infection that got into her blood because they didn't clean her up when she went to the bathroom. She couldn't get up. Yeah. I'm not going to mention the hospital. So yeah, I mean, there's tragedy all around, but there's also great news, people. There's an awakening. There's an awakening. I want to read you something that I found I gave to my spouse. Awakening. There is this overwhelming sensation that's occurring deep inside of you. You question everything. You trust only a few people. You no longer believe everything that was sold to you as a kid. You're looking for facts, for proof, and for undeniable consistencies. This is proof that you are transforming, awakening. Don't fight it. Allow the energy to flow. And that's by Sylvester McNutt. Sometimes you feel good. Sometimes. Anyway, so basically, if you're familiar with the work of, and I didn't write her down, and she escapes me right now. I'll think of it in a minute. Dolores Cannon. Just listen a minute. She mentions 3 waves of volunteers, she calls them, coming to Earth to help with the Great Awakening. 3 phases of volunteers. I'm obviously, because I'm older, I'm the first wave. They kind of had it rougher in a way, because they had to plow through all more of the brainwashing and stuff, which I really believed all that brainwashing at first. Your memory's wiped out of where you came from. If you're a star seed, you came from somewhere else, another planet. It's usually Arcturian. They're usually Arcturians or Pleiadians. I happen to think I'm Pleiadian. I feel like I'm Pleiadian. I haven't had any proof. I had psychics tell me that too. But so your memory's wiped out of where you came from. You came here to volunteer to help with the Great Awakening. It's been predicted in the Bible. It's been predicted all over the world in many different cultures and everything. The Mayans. We'll get to that in another show. The Mayans. Let me just quickly say that 2012 was supposed to be the end of the Mayan calendar. Well, it wasn't in the Mayan calendar, but something did happen. But it was spiritual. It wasn't like out in the open. Lately, the sun has been giving off a lot of solar flares, a lot of, when I was a kid, the sun was yellow. Look at the sun now, it's bright white. The sun is changing. Our sun is changing. Our star, it's a star. It's changing. And all these new energies coming in are going to raise, some people are going to be able to take it, and some people aren't. Some people that are more dark are not going to be able to take these energies. But a lot of people, that's why a lot of people now are waking up. Poof, it's literally like a flashlight going off in their heads. It's very, very wonderful time to be here. Okay. The second wave had a little bit easier because they had more of a memory and a belief in their own intuition. They know something was out there. They perhaps their pineal gland was more open, or their chakras more kundalini, as they say. But yeah, so the second wave, I think they were indigos, they call them indigos. She called them Dolores Cannon indigos. And in the third wave they're more spiritual. I mean, my granddaughter, she's amazing. She just intuitively knows a lot of things that I had to fight. It's like being a fish in very murky water. But when they came, the later ones came, the water was clear. You could put it that way as an analogy. So yeah, the sun's getting brighter. People are awakening. Censorship is going crazy, and that's the reason why. Because they don't want people to wake up. The other thing is, The whole thing about climate change, the whole thing about climate change, people, it's getting hotter and everything. Well, you know what? They're talking about the sun's energies coming in, that they don't want people to awaken. That's why they're spraying those trails. You can see what they are in the sky. It's blocking stuff, little particles they're spraying. It's just there's just like a lot of stuff, big underbelly of stuff, people. I'll be getting to it. I didn't call it a can of worms for nothing. I'll be getting to it. Okay, another thing that I've noticed is an increase in narcissism. Now, I don't know, I believe that there's two, and you can refer to H.G. Tudor, knowing the narcissist. He's a self-proclaimed narcissist. Man, sock it to you, man. He really let you know. For an example, he calls his partners appliances. How about that one? They're appliances to him. So, yeah, check him out, H.G. Tudor. He states that there's two reasons narcissists are made. One's environment and one's genetic. Simple, right? Well, I believe it makes sense to me. You can have one without the other, but if you got both. Who's really good book to read about dodging energy vampires if you're empathic, if you're an empath or empathic person or a sensitive, this book, Dodging Energy Vampires by Christine Northrup. Very good book. As an empathic individual, I've been surrounded by narcissists all my life. I've only recently met a person that's very near and dear to me that we hang around a lot, that I don't believe is a narcissist. Pretty much, they're attracted to me like, why this? Why's the honey? Why's the poop? And anyway, so, setting boundaries is a big part of the awakening. Because many starseeds, they come here, they're coming from places that are, there's not a lot of rules. People are just loving, to help each other. All this, come here and it's like, oh, this is bad. This is really hard to navigate. I don't know if I can do it, kind of a thing. And so another function of being here, Rion calls it soul rehab. Yeah. So there are apparently things that you wanted to work on when you came here. And so one of the things is setting boundaries. One of the things that we came here to work on is not keeping your frame, as Aaron Doherty calls it. Doughty? Yeah, Aaron Doughty. Keeping your frame. And so that means not leaking out your energy all over the place so that these energy vampires can come and feed off you. Yeah. Okay. Another person that really early on that I read was Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. There are 3 books in the series. I joined his thing and everything. His story is phenomenal. How he came here, he was homeless for a time. He went through relationships pretty often and stuff, but great series to read. Okay, another early on David Wilcock talks a lot about. Matter of fact, he stayed with the people that wrote this book. I forget who. Here, the raw material. Now this is heavy duty going. You know, you really need someone to help you interpret it. And if you read David Wilcock's books, he goes into what they're talking about a lot. There's I didn't read them all. I read 3. I think there's more. This is channeled information. The person channeling it is, I forget her name. What's the name right here? Carla Rucker. And somebody I was watching, Carla Rucker, somebody that I was listening to highly recommends her, but she channeled this book, and then she was asked questions, and the material that came through, it's hard to explain. Apparently, a group called Ra, who were extraterrestrials, came to Egypt and gave the Egyptians a lot of their information, how to build pyramids. I don't believe a bunch of slaves using rollers and pulleys made the pyramids. No. So anyway, I think they use sound, sound and combination of things, but yeah. So that's another good get to. These books will take you a while. It's really worth it. Another thing we got to do when we awaken is heal our inner wounds, stuff that happened to us when we first came here. Like, oh my God, these people are so read. This book really helped me a lot. By Teal Swan, The Completion Process, and she tells you how to. She goes through some meditations you can do, some to help you go back in time and heal. They say heal your inner child, how to heal those wounds that you have, and it's a really good idea for anybody, not just awakening people. She has a fantastic story too, a very fantastic story. She was a ritual satanic abuse survivor. Doesn't that sound horrible? When I first heard that, I did not believe it. I absolutely did not believe that this was possible. Coming from a religious background, and people could do this to each other. She was a child. She was sexually molested and groomed. She was abused. Negative training. Pavlov's dogs. They used psychology. Broke down her ego. Now, it's good to break down your ego, but let's do it the way Eckhart Tolle does, by being in now, rather than the way they did it to her. And the reason why they picked her was because not only is she absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but also because she was born wide open with all her inner senses, her intuition, her chakras open, pineal gland open. They knew she was different, and they wanted to, I don't know what they wanted to do, stop her. Didn't work. So yeah, man, you'll find your relationships will change. They'll be better. They will. It doesn't happen instantly when you read the book. It's a process. It's definitely a process. And it's sometimes really difficult. Okay, I'm also learning tarot, which is absolutely taboo. I'm wearing tarot. A good person to follow, and she gives a free course in it. It's Tarot by Janine. She's Canadian. I can't pronounce her last name. It's French, I believe. And she also is up to date on what is going on. She used to lean liberal, but the cards, Donald Trump is a terrible person, but the cards are the ones that have her change. Yes, awaken in a sense. This was, I think, 3 years ago, she said. So about the same time that I started realizing a lot of this stuff. For me, it was 5 years, but the first 2 years were just getting rid of some brainwashing. Yeah, she's up to date on what's going on, man. And if you don't believe in tarot cards, after you talk to her, you'll believe in them. You'll believe. Okay, another good one is Aaron Doughty. He's a good one. He's good to start, I think, because he doesn't get all like out there, like, these basic spiritual teachings based on Eckhart Tolle and several other people that he mentions. Jordan Peterson was also very left leaning until they started with, he was a professor in Canada, I think Quebec, and they started to hassle him about his pronoun use. You can't say he or she, his or hers, but he thought it was ridiculous. He was kind of like, what is going on here? And through his journey, it's a fascinating one because he's very analytical person, very, very smart. But he's even gotten more religious and stuff like that, and he never used to be. These people's journeys are really worth following. They're really worth, having fun with and listening to. Talked about Teal Swan. Tim Pool is a good podcast to watch. I think he's still on YouTube. Tim Pool was a skater. He traveled the world. And he learned a few things, but he was very left-leaning. And then, he started to wake up. He was anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment. And it was actually Steven Crowder, was another good podcast. Steven Crowder was a good podcast. Gee, I should have told you to take out paper and pen and notes. But anyway, sent Tim Pool his first gun. Actually, he had gotten some guns after that, but in New Jersey, it's not easy to get guns. He's in West Virginia now. Tim Pool, was originally in New Jersey, and so yeah. Next video I'm going to put my lipstick on better. Yeah, so Steven Crowder. It's kind of long. It's a couple hours a day, I guess, but it's hysterically funny, very funny. He always was conservative, I believe. Steven Crowder. He was always conservative. Yeah, you'll enjoy that one. He does different things. He does skits and stuff too, not just talking. He goes out to campuses and stuff and says, it's called Change My Mind. And he'll say something like, women are women, men are men. Change my mind. I love it. So I think that's all I got now. Get you started. It's about a year's worth of reading, even for a reader, I think. But, there's podcasts you can watch if that's your preferred way of learning. I do both. I don't have that much time to read anymore. There's so much going on. There's so much to keep up with. Like every day it's something else. Roe versus Wade. It's so ridiculous. It just is returning the choice about ending a life to the states. That's all. just back to the States. It's ridiculous. It's not ending that choice, if you will. It's not ending that choice. And my personal belief is that you do have choices. You can abstain, you can use contraceptive, and you can use adoption. There's 3 choices right there. And I didn't always feel that way. You know? When I was in my 20s, and mostly 20s, no, mostly teens, because I didn't choose to get an abortion when I could have. I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't. I'd never be able to forgive myself now, knowing what I know now, knowing what I believe now. Never be able to forgive myself. And boy, have I been blessed. I've been blessed with my children. Yep, I'm gonna cry. Well, anyway, I think that's enough for today. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I don't know when I'm going to do this again. Maybe in the middle of the week. This is Monday. I might do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If I'm not too tired from working and stuff. We'll see. I'll come down with a schedule. Okay, love you all. Happy journey.